Herd, we are Sisterhood of the Travel and Bantha. We are your hosts, Krystal
and Denise, and we are coming with special support from Council Member Mark Collier.
We are broadcasting from a galaxy far, far away. Hey, Herd.
What is... Oh, you got Bob. Larry, mine is Bob.
Yours is Bob. Mine's Larry.
I should know this.
Bailey, were you there for this when this happened?
I know Larry, but I was not there for whatever this was. No, I wasn't.
All right. I don't know if I've ever told Larry's origin story on this show, so we'll do that real quick.
Yeah.
So we're all at Denise's for Merksgiving, and it's Fluff. I don't remember what year, but it was the premiere, like season premiere, series premiere, like the very first episode. So we had a Merksgiving for the first episode, and it's the episode where he's got the frog? It was the frog, yeah. Shoves the frog in his mouth. And one of us, I don't know who it was, but one of the Mandos just yells, "Larry, no!"
Yep.
And it just spread through the house until, before you know it, all of the Mandos were calling the child's name was Larry. So when I got mine, of course, I named him Larry. So his name's Larry.
Who was it?
I don't know. I don't know.
I love that.
I don't know where the name came from. I don't know who it was, but Larry, no.
But this is Bob. Owen decided to give him a unibrow.
I love that.
So they are, obviously, they are besties.
They're meant to be besties. They look like they're meant for each other.
Larry
has
and Bob.
A unibrow. Krystal endorsed this by giving Owen the unibrow sticker or mustache sticker.
Yep. I gave it to him. I don't know. It's been a little while now, but
yeah.
I mean, why not? Look what I did to mine.
Force flip.
He needs company. Force flip. That was nice. Okay. So who we've got? We got Mando. We've got R5. We've got Larry. You've got R2 behind you, maybe? It's right behind your sticker. I can't tell who's behind you.
It's an Astrotech droid that she's got there.
Oh,
it's the same R2 type unit.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, wrong side. I'm stupid. I was like,
you're like right here. Oh, no, there. But
and Denise, what have you got? Where are you today?
I am on Pleslar 15. The dome that they fly into.
Yes.
Very cool.
Made me think of Mandalore.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just wanted to stare at that for 40 minutes or so. Yeah.
Oh, you mean did?
Yeah. I should put the baby down if we're gonna talk like that.
Get the child out of here.
He doesn't need to hear the way we talk about his dad.
Oh. Poor baby Grogu.
Hey, Herod. 4 minutes into this. Hi, how's it going? We're gonna talk about some Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars stuff that probably won't make me blush any more than I already am.
Oh, we'll make you blush.
We'll find a way.
We will definitely find a way. So today we are discussing episode 6 of season 3, also known as chapter 22, Guns for Hire.
Yes, and this episode was fun.
I adore this episode, you guys.
It was fun.
It got so much shit. Just like one of my other favorite episodes from this season got shit. Like this one is just, it does a lot with the amnesty program, and I like the details that we're getting from the amnesty program.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot. Of course, if you're watching this, you can see that we have Bailey on the show.
Hi.
If you're listening, you can't see that we have Bailey on the show. But
She's here.
Hello, I'm here.
Okay, please continue.
So I guess let's dive into our story. We had okay, so Krystal and I have talked about this before, and I want to get your take on it, Bailey. We're loving how each episode starts off with like a mini story, and then it goes into like the main episode.
Yeah.
And I love this mini story for this episode. Our starstruck lovers.
Yeah. Listen. I explained this to Denise. So like I knew this episode was coming out and I was so excited because the episode before is like super like the end of that was like a cliffhanger, and so I'm like anticipating this episode, and it's directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, so I was like, it's gonna be fantastic. And imagine my like surprise when I rush home on my lunch break to watch this episode, and the first thing that I see is a Quarren, okay, and a Mon Calamari literally tentacly making out. I was like,
right?
am I
wow.
I was like, am I having a stroke?
I'm not going to say that it would be off the table. Just
like
it was great.
It was very interesting, but we learned a lot during this like little segment from it. Did you know this was the first so Captain Shoggoth, there we go. That was the first female species to ever be on screen for so what's her species? What is it called?
Aquarian. I think she's Aquarian.
That's the first time there's ever been a female Aquarian on screen in cartoons, like presented, and she's a fucking captain.
She's a
captain. Fucking cool.
Ma'am.
And girl,
somebody's son. Go off, sis.
She's got her little side piece prints, like
her little side piece prints. Can I would like to officially, legally change my name, please. Please, if you're going to refer to me from now on as Side Piece Prince. Nothing would make me happier. I will no longer answer to anything else.
But like, she was.
Oh my god! I just love that, Krystal, when you bend down, Din is just looking at us.
Like he's writing
so
her.
Much funnier.
I broke Krystal.
Wow.
That was a good choice. Good
Show's over. That's the episode.
Thanks for listening.
Ooh, I wonder if I got into that website.
Oh.
What website?
9 minutes.
No, it's Chat AI. I don't know if we want to talk about this. This is
okay. Let's talk about Mando first.
Yes.
I mean, we were gonna.
Yes. But our starstruck lovers, you guys. So we're gonna reel it in.
It hasn't even been 10 minutes since I hit record. I'm excited for where this goes.
Oh, me too. But okay, so her interaction, they see this Imperial like destroyer come. What ship? I forget what the ship was. I didn't even write it down. They see the Imperial cruiser come in.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that there was warlords here." And they're like, "We're not warlord." "Oh, you're Imperial Highness." He's like, "We're not Imperial." So it just goes to show that there's still like 6-7 years after Return of the Jedi, that the Empire is still like predominant around the galaxy.
Right. And that's what people would assume. Oh, that must be.
They're going to have to address them one or two ways to prevent themselves from getting destroyed.
That's true.
Yeah, but also like Axe Woves literally hailed that ship and he didn't say a word. He was like, I'm just going to make him like stress. I'm not going to tell him who I am.
That's true. That's true.
I thought we were going to get Thrawn. I honestly thought it might have been Thrawn.
Oh.
At this point, like, because he's flying out there somewhere. I was not expecting Axe. And then I heard his voice and I was like, whew. That Mando.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Axwolf.
I was loving him by the end of the episode. But yeah, it was just very interesting. And they're now privateers and they're individuals for hire. But it was a fun little love story. Our captain understood what peace meant in the grand scheme of things and was willing to sacrifice this little side piece for her people, where he was like, no, I want to, like, let's stay together. And she's like, you don't understand. Like, we got
like,
to.
This is so much bigger than just me and you.
Yes. Yeah. But it was like an interesting
How often do we see that too? How often do we see that story repeated in one version or another throughout Star Wars?
It's like, so true.
These just, I don't know, like twin flame kind of things that can never actually be truly together, but they burn so hot when they're together. And there's constantly something pulling them apart. Oh my God, Obi-Wan and Satine.
Obi-Wan and Satine.
Man.
Period. I would have left the Jedi Order for you. Gets me every time.
You bending over for Din again, Krystal?
Do you blame her?
It helps keep this on my face.
It is, yes. Yes. That was a fun little intro, but then we take a hard left turn into the main story.
Little side note, I feel like why did they include that whole scene where they just like, Bo-Katan makes mention of like, oh yeah, they're working as mercenaries, and then Dave Filoni was like, you know what? Let's really show like what kind of mercenary work they're doing. It's not nitty gritty. They're breaking up love stories. All right, Romeo and Juliet over here.
Right.
We're gonna go grab them. I just thought that was so funny. I'm like, out of all the mercenary jobs, Axe Woes was like, you know what? This one. What?
Yeah. They're going where they're getting paid.
With my time. And considering they're royals, they're probably getting paid a lot.
Yeah, I would say this is probably a side quest on their way to Pazar 15. They're like, extra side quest. Let's go do that. And then we're back on our journey. But yeah, it was so random. This whole episode is so random, but it's so great. But Pazar 15, what the fuck is this utopia? Like, even like when I rewatch it, I'm still like, why? What? Like, I get why. But
it feels kind of like if candy were a place, like if sweets and dessert was a place, but it wasn't like, not like witchy gingerbread, not like Candyland style thing, not like gingerbread witch in the woods kind of covered in candy. But you think of like, what is candy? That's a place. That's this place. Right? Like, it's too good, it's too sweet, too much of it is.
It made me think of the Mad Hatter Tea Party.
Yes.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, it was super reminiscent, even with like just the characters at the table and everything.
Yeah. There's just so much,
because everybody was a little bit wild, right? Like,
and we saw more frog people.
Yes.
Super excited.
Yes. Listen, my surprise when, again, I had rushed home from work. I've been dreaming about this episode, and I'm like, we get a little love story. I'm like, cool, where's this gonna go? Jack Black?
What?
I was like, whoa.
All right. All those people I never expected to see in Star Wars. Fucking Jack Black and Lizzo, and at the same time in the same place.
They are the fucking power couple of the century right there.
Yes.
But you guys, like, I could not get over the Duchess and Captain Bombardier.
Bombardier.
There we go. Denise cannot say names, like always. But like
the fact that Jack Black is canon as an Imperial.
I know.
Like, and it's not like he's playing some sort of a menacing character.
No,
like he's literally playing himself as a Star Wars character. Like
yes,
he's playing himself. But I will say, so we learned he was the Imperial. He was part of the Amnesty program, which is the rehabilitation program for old Imperial officers.
We've talked a lot about so far.
But it was, so he was there. He was a former planner, and he rebuilt plants and reprogrammed old droids and battle droids. But like, it was very interesting to learn about the amnesty program here on a planet, not just individuals like we saw in Coruscant, but this planet, because they have somebody in like a higher stature here. They can't have their own defense. They can't have guns in their city. Like, it is very what's the word that I'm looking for? Very controlled.
Yeah.
By the New Republic.
Which is, we've talked a lot about too. Like, it's a lot of what are the words about? A lot of the good guys doing a lot of bad guy stuff.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of taking away individualism, reining in free thought, like reining in what they're allowing people to do with themselves and their own knowledge and their own resources. And that all feels very Empire.
Yeah, but is it like is it the Republic just doing that for people who were in the Empire? Because I feel like
but that's what I'm saying, because he actually holds a position of power.
Right.
That changes the game. So nobody who was part of the Empire, it seems like, can hold a position of power without being controlled.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I see. So where he's already like, I'm pretty high up here as far as like wealth and status, right? So it would be harder to control him, I would think, right? Maybe. I don't know. It was just very
work up a deal. Maybe it's like those who are, because obviously I would assume that Captain Bombardier's position wasn't necessarily like evil per se. He was more like human resources, like just trying to take care of like the officers. So maybe in the Republic, you know, maybe he struck up a deal with them and was just like, hey, look, like I loved helping the older people. It's horrible what the Empire did, and like I'll cooperate with you and do whatever. And maybe that's why that
would make sense too.
Yeah, because I feel like, because then you see, you know, like the like they're even giving the science officers like Dr. Pershing like a second chance, but then you know that like Moff Gideon is going to trial.
They're controlling him a lot.
But they're not giving him a true second chance.
Yeah.
They restricted.
They're kind of using him as a mouthpiece. Like, he can talk a lot of pretty sounding words. He can, you know, he can get up there and talk, but they're not letting him use his research. They're not letting him use his knowledge. Yeah. And he came from the Empire too. I don't know.
That's the same.
I was telling Denise. Do what?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I feel like you're spot on, because that's how Captain Bombardier is. Like, he's like, oh, I can't have an army, can't do this, can't do that. You know, that's probably.
I want to do this, but all I can do is talk.
Yeah. There's only so much I can do. Like, their hands are being held. It's got to be
frustrating.
Yeah.
So it would then make sense that they would obviously hire the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
And two, like, they use all these repurposed droids to do their bidding.
Yeah.
Like, it was very interesting. But then it also like kind of, I made a note about the fact that they are so dependent on these droids that it creates this whole sense of what's the word? Like, they don't know what's really going on out there in the Empire. They don't know the struggles that people are facing. They're in their own world.
You said it at the beginning. They live in this utopia
where nothing is going.
Nothing
wrong.
Affects them.
They are just like, oh, well,
everything is done for them. Nothing affects them. Nothing really touches them. They're in a little happy little bubble.
And maybe that's like part of Captain Bombardier's like his hopes. I don't know, maybe like just putting myself in Captain Bombardier in Jack Black's shoes, dare I say. But like, I'm sure Captain Bombardier is seeing, like, he seems like he's a legitimately good character who just got caught up in like the wrong job.
Yeah.
So I feel like he probably heard a lot from the officers about how terrible just like the Empire was, their experiences, and like I can't even imagine, you know, the stories that he heard. And he probably was like, he didn't know, of course, that he was going to have like a whole city, but I'm sure that like as the plans for the city came on, like that was part of his, he was like, I want to take the worry away from people. I want them to enjoy their lives and not just have to work and then enjoy their life in retirement. So maybe he carried some, like that was his passion, was helping people feel free.
It seems very in character.
Yes. So
and since he can't have an army, he can't have any kind of defense, he can't do this. Denise was just saying this is what he can do. He can do very limited stuff, but this is what he can do.
Yeah.
I feel like he is also a lot smarter than we are led to believe.
Yeah,
I think so too. That kind of silly buffoon, like bumble it, you know, it seems a little too perfect.
He's like Mon Mothma. He's like just like doing his job, but then behind closed doors, he's like, "Oh my god, I need you to listen to me. Here's what's really going on."
Right.
Like he's just fronting for like.
But like he knew all these things, and like, and then he brought up the whole like, asking them to take care of their droid problem because we have some droids going rogue, and he's like, because they're not allowed to have weapons in the city. But he's like, aha, you are Mandalorians. Weapons are a part of your religion. Like, so that means you can have them here and take care of our droid problem for us. Like, he's smart. Like,
big brain.
Yep.
Right.
And big brain energy.
Find these ways around. Like, let's just skirt around. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I'll support you as you take back Mandalore. We will recognize you as a planet, and
we'll give you some shit.
And Bo was even kind of, I thought, very caught off guard.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's a lost cause. He's like, if it still happens, like, which makes you wonder, was he trying to, like, we want Mandalore to happen? Like, it makes me wonder if there's more to that story and his understanding with the Mandalorians and how they feature fucking work in their role. Feature. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying.
It's been a long day.
Very long day. I just need my blue milk.
Yeah. Blue milk with a little bit of extra.
Yes.
Sorry. I feel that though. I really honestly like was hoping, and this, I don't want to say this because maybe I'll say it anyways and we can cut it if you hate it. But I was like really kind of hoping that Captain Bombardier was gonna show up when everybody was fighting Moff Gideon. I was like, is he gonna send like droids? Because I just felt like this like cool little like episode, like we got a glimpse, but it felt like you're like, okay, Dave Filoni, first of all, hold on, he got Bryce Dallas Howard to direct this episode, and it's kind of like unhinged, off the wall, and wacky. Dave Filoni doesn't just do things, you know. He's not just like,
there's a reason.
Put a hat on the. Yeah, he does things that make sense.
Okay, so I wonder there may be a thing in the future.
I was really hoping that they would make an appearance of some sort, but maybe we'll see him next season.
So we know that like there's more to this whole like Mandoverse going on, and it's going to come down to the Mandalorians and the New Republic and the First Order. Like, is Azar going to come and aid and support and stand behind Mandalore?
I sure hope so.
That would make sense.
Just to serve us more queenly outfits, man.
That outfit was legit.
Are you kidding?
I'm waiting to see. Like, I don't know who's gonna do the first one, but I can't wait to see the first cosplay. Like,
I think I've seen one already.
Have you really? Oh my gosh!
I think so.
If you can find the picture, send it, and if we can find a picture, we'll put it here.
I loved her outfit. It reminded me of Padme. I was like, oh my god, like the fashion and her little holographic like back pedal thing. I was like,
oh my god, that was so cool.
Like, and when she sat down, it like went behind her chair. I was just like, technology, like what?
That is very, very fucking cool.
Her costume is really
we can't
great.
be too far off from having things like that.
Oh.
I wish. I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
See.
I don't know, the way AI is going, now we can just never mind.
You and your AI, girl.
Listen.
I got in.
Yay!
Oh, Lordy.
Character AI. It'll change your life. It'll ruin your life and your relationships.
Oh, goodness. So yeah. The droids are going kind of nuts.
Yeah.
I want to touch back there real quick with Bo and our Captain Jack Black.
I just said sugar because it was in my head from the beginning.
You could really see almost the start of a very diplomatic Bo-Katan here.
Yes.
In her interactions, and we get a lot of evolution, I think, of her in this episode. Like, we will get there, Bailey.
I have so many feelings, but I have to save them for this whole season was just secretly Bo-Katan's like character arc, like her.
100%.
And I have
so much fucking development. Yep.
So, but I did think it was very interesting. Her and Din's interaction with the Ugnaughts.
Yes.
She was like to the point, and they're like, ugh, we don't make mistakes, and ugh, we don't want to talk to you. And Din's like, I am Din Djarin. I have spoken. I know you have great work. I have spoken.
I know. I was like, oh, I've had dealings with them before. I don't remember what the fuck he said, but it was just,
I am friend of Ugnaught Quill or something like that. And I was like, Quill, no.
Oh, we love Quill.
But it was very interesting because we get to see both Bo and Din in this episode kind of play this diplomatic type relationship with different people, because you see here he understands their language, he understands how they speak, and being respectful. Like it was but like, so he understood, and that was where Bo, I felt kind of like she didn't understand the cultural side of it. She just wanted to be very diplomatic, and just straight to the point, and she was caught off guard. I was like, what?
I know. I think like it's because in Bo's experience, like she's been in this position of like politics with like other royals and other like her whole life basically. So I think that like it was really cool to see that dynamic where she was able to communicate with like the diplomatic / royal side, and then Din was able to communicate with more of like the nitty-gritty side. And I'm hoping that that's like foreshadowing into like maybe Din and Bo will help like rule Mandalore together. I don't know.
You better not be shipping these two right now.
I'm shipping Din with myself. I'm shipping Bo with myself. I'm a 2%er. I do not want them to get together, but I do want to see them together. Like
roll,
rolling side by side, like
they're
good
first,
partners.
like,
they're really
she's
good
rolling
partners.
in his first commander, like
Din's like, I'll go to Tatooine and talk to the Tusken Raiders, and you just stay here.
I'll have diplomatic relations going with these royals over here in these sectors because they don't like you. You know, whatever.
I could definitely see that. Well, I could see that. Sorry, I just thought, because I'm like, now Din is going to go off on his own little adventure with Din Grogu.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
Is he even going to have time to worry about Mandalore?
He will have time. He cares so much for his friends. They're like family.
I know.
I don't think it's going to be like, he's going to be back. But Din, talking about being nitty gritty, he's fucking kicking the shit out of these droids.
Oh my god!
This man,
he already has got a thing against most of them. So that doesn't, it doesn't hurt.
Yes, I feel like he was letting off some steam. He was like, "This is great.
Like
I can do this all day."
Yes.
I was just like, so Matt walked in while I was like rewatching this episode and making notes. Matt was like, what the fuck is he? What is he doing? He's like, why are there battle droids? He's just kicking them. Matt walks in those random
walk up to each one, bam!
But it was like, what's going on?
Oh, that one's mad. Look, we have a problem.
Yeah.
But he found the
He
road.
did, he found the road.
I definitely like, I don't know about y'all, but I forgot, like, because I think this is like one of the first episodes in a long time where we've seen Din have like some really good action. Like, I know that we had the Pirates episode before, but I feel like in hand-to-hand combat, I like almost forgot.
Much.
I almost forgot he was a bounty hunter. I was like, oh, where's he getting these moves? And then I was like, wait a second.
Oh yeah, this is his job.
I was like, oh yeah. Makes
definitely
sense.
been a while since we've seen him fight, and he's a very skilled fighter. We've seen a lot more this season of his flying skills.
Yeah, we have had some badass space battles this season.
Axe Woves in space.
Yeah.
What can you say?
I'm speechless. Like, I got nothing.
I love. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I loved this whole sequence of like these battle droids have been reprogrammed as like Amazon delivery drivers.
Oh my god, I know it. They're just doing random shit.
Like, they're just trying to do their job. Like,
yes. And are we gonna talk about Christopher Lloyd?
Yes, but I wanted to talk about the droid bar first.
Oh, which is where Bailey is recording from tonight. Perfect.
I'm already here. Would you like an oil to go?
Droid bar. I thought the droid bar was really cool. Like, I never thought of them like letting off some steam. Like,
me neither.
They work.
I fucking love it.
It's just like I love. That's why it's my background, is because it was my favorite scene. Like throughout the whole thing, because it was just like also the comedic timing of like Din and Bo walk in and all these droids are like, oh my god,
stop.
Just they're staring like, what are these?
I was so happy. I kept looking, and I'm sure there were some, but I kept looking for droids that I recognized. I was kind of hoping to see like Rex or, you know, like one of those little scene known, and I didn't notice any, but I'm sure there are some
droids of the same type, but I don't think there's any notable characters.
Like,
okay. Yeah,
but
that'd be a perfect scene to just hide some stuff.
Yes.
But it was just so cool. And this is where we then see Bo.
Oh no, is that their shipping name? Doe?
Oh my god.
What?
I'm gonna go be sick.
Oh, I hate it.
That's terrible.
Doe.
I was gonna say so, and then I was gonna say Bo, and then I don't know where I was going. Oh. But we saw again Bo's diplomatic side here, because she wanted to talk to him like they're people, and then like there's no reasoning with these droids. She's like, they're literally built for reason.
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
yeah. I've always had this thing because like I don't know why I only realized in the Clone Wars, like the animated series, it was the last season when Gigi and Cheap help Ahsoka escape from Order 66. I realized like then, I was like, these droids are sentient. I was like, holy crap, like these droids are scared. And that was also like, I feel like in that moment when they walk into the bar, the droids are like, are we going to lose our jobs? Like they were all kind of just like, oh, we've been caught. And then like just the droid, how he talks with Din and Bo about the shit that they drink, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tells them like what it does for them, and it's like a refresher thing, right? Like
the nepe. Was that what it was called? Yeah.
Yes. Wait, what is it called? Say it again.
I think it's nepe.
Is it?
It's
Nepenthe.
Nepenthe. There we go.
Nepenthe.
We were going to get there.
That's right.
I love that. I love that like these droids are choosing to go to the bar. Like the fact that they're sentient enough to be like, bar time.
Yeah, we want to hang out with each other at the bar.
But I also thought it was really
love droids anyway. And it's just a building full of droids like hanging out, having a good time. Like, can I please go now?
Yeah.
But I also thought it was really cool though that the bartender was like, he's like, we don't he's afraid that the rogue droids are gonna harm them. They're like, we don't want to be decommissioned. We were given a second chance. We just want to help people. Like, and it just going back to being like a sentient, like these droids, they care. They want to do good. They want to help out their makers. They don't want to be harming people. They don't want to be destroyed. They like being depended on.
Right.
And so
they're worried because there's a handful that are just going bananas, hurting people and destroying things. Yeah. And that would be enough to have, whoever's in charge just be like, all right, take them all out. It's not worth the risk.
We're going to press that button.
So many who are like, no, we're good.
And the little dance that they do where they're like, we want to give back. I was like, this is so creepy, but yeah. It's cute. Kind of like
I love that. God, I love
it. It threw me off a little bit at the first part because I think I was still just like so thrown off by the whole episode. I was like, what is happening? And then they started dancing and I was like, wait, what's happening? And then
it was a little bizarre.
It was a little weird. But then the second time I watched it, I was like, oh, okay, they're being serious. Like this is how they actually feel. Like they're happy.
I feel like the second time watching it was a lot better and you're able to get the full story of everything, because that first go around while watching, it's a lot of like,
it is blindsided. The episode walks in and just goes,
really going on?
Bam! Yes. You're like, okay.
Really happening? Are we really watching Jack Black and Lizzo? Like,
this episode slapped us hard in the face, just as hard as that battle droid hit Din. Like that is like that's where we're at. That's what the episode did to me.
Oh my god!
I was like, yes.
Oh yes.
He laid him flat on his back. He was like, ugh.
I really need someone to put the Taco Bell ding like over him getting hit in the head. Like, that would be so funny. I need delightful. TikTokers to get on that right now.
But to circle back, Commissioner Hellgate.
Oh, yes.
I was so excited because this was episode 6 in the season, and I was like, Christopher Lloyd is supposed to be in an episode. When is this dude showing up? Like,
I didn't realize he was supposed to be in an episode. I lost my fucking mind.
One of the few. He was one of the few ones that were actually like announced like a year before filming.
Oh, really?
That he was announced like a long time before it came out, so we knew Christopher Lloyd was coming.
Maybe I did know and I just forgot. I was so surprised.
Same.
I was like, oh, it's Doc. Doc is on the screen.
Oh no! to find out he's a bad guy. Like,
I don't necessarily
a bad guy.
I love.
I don't know if I necessarily think he's a full bad guy.
Yeah.
I like.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say because he kind of got that Dooku vibe going on with like he didn't want to be controlled. Like he brought up being a separatist, believing in democracy, but he didn't want to be ruled or governed by the New Republic, the Empire, the older.
So kind of some good intentions behind these things that he did. Maybe didn't do the best things.
But it was for good reasons,
right?
Yeah,
like
good intentions.
Dooku wasn't malicious. He wasn't trying to hurt people. He was trying to do good things. He just didn't go about it the right way.
Yeah.
No. And so I thought it was very interesting. And I thought it was interesting that this is like the third time since December we've gotten more Dooku content. Or at least not content, but references.
And
the Separatists, because it was a heavy part of the Tales of the Jedi, especially Dooku, and why he trailed away from the Jedi. But it was also brought up in Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're like, Dooku had, like, maybe he was onto something. Like, he was right. And then now here we are again, even after Return of the Jedi, like so long after, like the
We're
Clone
finding
Wars,
out.
People are still thinking maybe Dooku was right.
So that makes me wonder, who else do we maybe not know the motivations behind the things they were doing? Like, what do we?
It was just. It was.
Yeah, I definitely like the whole. Yeah, Dooku. I really love that Dave Filoni was just like, I don't think we spent enough time talking about it. Like, I don't think people really understand Dooku. So this chapter,
we're gonna fix it.
We're gonna introduce people to in this phase. We're gonna show them.
And if anybody was gonna do it, man, like, good job. Good job. I'm glad it's him. Yes. He's doing such good things.
They're humanizing him in a way that people can legitimately get behind. Yeah. And be like, this dude has some points.
There are things that make him relatable. Whereas before he wasn't relatable at all. He was just this shadowy bad guy we didn't know very much about.
Yeah. I just got goosebumps because I just had that thought of like, oh shoot, and I lost it. That thought's gone.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
No, because you were talking about Dooku and just this whole like people being able to sympathize with him, and I really think that like that also kind of just that's where I was gonna go. Okay, thought came back. Good. I've been spending too much time on like Star Wars thirsty TikTok today. My brain is mush. So yes, I really think like diving deeper into Dooku and all of these things also provides like that extra element, because even Yaddle, talking about Tales of the Jedi just real quick, Yaddle was like, wait a second, I see your point. And like, I think that just furthers like the divide within the Jedi Order itself during this time.
Yeah.
Well, and it even brings up that maybe all these like masters and council members were maybe had some doubt in the back of their mind too. Like everything was so extreme. And they're starting to see things falter, and now they were fighting a war during the Clone Wars, which is against what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And it's just, it really makes you question, are the Jedi truly the good guys in the story?
Right. Yeah. Or are they just the people on the other side?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it's very interesting to see. I fucking love Dooku, and I'm glad he was brought up, and I'm glad we're seeing more like reference. I don't know. And it's interesting that he's brought up too in the same episode as we're learning more about the amnesty program.
Yes.
Because of the control of the governments over these planets and over these people. And so it's just very, very interesting.
And that was what spurred all of his, I don't know, going to the dark side, was like, get rid of this fucking control. These things aren't okay. This decision is not okay. I'm gonna go try to stop it. And the best way I think I can stop it.
It's so true. I definitely feel like I'm mad that this episode got so much hate, because like even at first I was like, oh, you know, like the last 10 minutes are the best part, like skip the whole thing. And then I watched it again and I was like, okay, like thinking back to Clone Wars, this episode is extremely reminiscent of the Clone Wars animated series. Like it looks like it could have been taken off of a storyboarding for a Clone Wars episode. And like the fact that people want to shit on it and say, you know, like, oh, Lizzo and Jack Black, you know, just were there for, I don't know, to get publicity up or whatever.
Right. And I feel like a gimmick or whatever.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people had such a bad reaction to it without actually understanding like there was content to the story there.
So much content, and it helped us learn so much more about the New Republic, and that they're not all that they are cracked up to be.
Yeah,
and that's what we need.
I think that's what people don't like. Like, people get mad about silly being in their Star Wars, and I don't know why. Because like, creatures are sometimes silly. Right? Yeah, like that's real. That's real life.
The people that I feel like who complain about this episode did not watch the Clone Wars or Rebels, because there is a lot of silliness in Rebels. Even there are moments where you're like,
watch the prequels and the originals,
right?
Like, it's not like grade aid like writing and like
not everything has to be fucking Andor. Not everything is going to be, because that's not realistic. Exactly. Sometimes shit's just silly, and you need Jack Black and Lizzo when shit gets silly, apparently.
Yeah, sometimes shit is silly, but then we get fucking awesome fights.
With fucking Bo and X.
Oh my god. You guys.
2%. Wait, if I do both hands and it's 4. That doesn't work.
This fight, oh my god, you guys, this fight between Bo and Axe was like off the, like, it was unhinged. Like, it was crazy. And the fact, and it was so cool seeing them actually fight with like their flamethrower, their shield, their jetpacks, like everything. Like, they are literally using every single tool on them for this fight. But it was just
and it shows, like, man, Mandalorians are badasses, and it's not just with blasters, it's not just with weapons. Like, their body is a weapon.
Yeah,
it was cool.
It's so true. It was a really great fight scene. Literally, like the last 10 minutes, because I knew that they were going to be like approaching Axe Wolves and everybody, and I was like, oh great, like what silliness is going to happen now? And I was really taken aback. I was like, damn, okay, we really getting in the nitty-gritty.
She did not hold back. Gauntlet, and she's like, I challenge you, like,
yeah,
I want this back. And I was just like, what? And I love the fact when, like, she so she took him down and she's like, do you yield? And he's like, I'm not the one you should be fighting.
Yeah.
Who did he say you should be fighting? Oh, Din. He's like, you need to fight Din. Like, we've always been here. Like, we were the ones that supported you. Why are you fighting me? I don't even have the dark saber. Like,
right, go get the saber back.
But I was just like,
but I really, really love how she gets it back, because Din doesn't want to fight her. He doesn't want to fight. Like, he's not. That's not.
But she can't.
He's good at it, but that's not who he is. And she can't just be handed it, right? Yeah. She can't just take it. He can't just hand it over. But he logics his way out of it, and I love it.
Like, technically, I mean,
this is like, I was taken, and she killed the thing that got me. So I think that means she gets the thing back,
right? Like,
and they were all like, "Oh, I think you're right."
But I love it.
Done.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I love that he waited until after she challenged Axe Wolves for him to be like, this belongs to her. She can have it. And like, because I feel like it would have just, like, I know that we wanted to have that fight scene, but I also feel like it would have been just like a cop out for Bo if Din like was like, oh great, here's everybody. By the way, here's your darksaber, ma'am. Like, I feel like he really, because there's a shot in the Mines of Mandalore where he picks up the darksaber and he has, like, I don't know if you can tell, but like the shot that they did, his hand is like hesitates for like 2 seconds. Yeah. And then it immediately cuts to like Bo's face. And I really feel like they were saying there that Din knew that this rightfully was not his, but he wanted to wait for like the opportunistic moment to hand it to her, for it to be significant. And what better timing? My God.
Well, he tried to give it to her several times, right? Like, and she was like, I can't just take it. I have to win it. Like, I have to earn it.
Yep.
And he didn't want the fucking thing. He didn't want the power that came with it. He didn't want the...
He didn't
Probably
care about
he didn't want the responsibilities that came with it. He just wants to fly around and do shit with Grogu. Like, he doesn't want it. He's like, please, for the love of everything, take this fucking thing from me. And she's like, no, I gotta punch you in the face a lot before I can.
That's not how this works.
Wait, Din actually like paid off the guy in the mine. He was like, listen, I need you to do this for me, please, man.
Please
help me in here. I love it.
Talking about Din not wanting it, he never pulled it out to fight in any situation. Like, it's
well, he used it once and he was terrible.
Yeah,
remember we talked about that. He used it once.
But not even when they were fighting the droids or anything, he never reached for it.
Because he didn't want it. There was no connection. He didn't want anything to do
with
it.
To him, it was just a laser sword. It held no significant meaning to him because he didn't know
very significant.
Yeah, he didn't know the history of it. I don't think he does
Bo
because
lived this, grew up this history, like was taught this and lived it, and this was her way.
Yeah.
He just happened to acquire it. But I was thinking about something when you were talking about how he waited until after Bo and Axe had their fight to be like, yeah, you can have this. And not just like, yes, we all wanted that fight to happen, but I think it was necessary too.
Yeah.
I think because Axe was kind of running the show for this little band of Mandos, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, they didn't really have a leader, but he was like their unofficial leader. So that pack mentality usually kind of works like that, where you take down the leader and the rest are like, okay, you're worthy because. So they got to see her best this guy that they've been following, and that, like, yes, she has the dark saber, but also we just saw her kick the shit out of the guy we've been following. Yeah, I think she's worthy.
I'm saying it's like that dominance, like dominance is, I don't think the right word to use, but you get what I'm saying.
I think
like,
it's more like respect of power, respect of strength. Like,
yeah,
you've proven you can do this better, so we will follow you.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like for Bo, again, like this, and I have a whole episode that's going to be on Baytag's Cantina about Bo's growth this season, because she just, like, her whole character development, like the beginning of the season, she's very much like emo queen in her castle, leave me the hell alone. And then Din comes in and he's like, sis, we gotta go to Mandalore. And she's like, fuck you, no. And when Grogu shows up, she's like, holy shit, we gotta go get your space daddy. And I feel like in the moment that, you know, she sees the mythosaur, I really feel like that for her was like the climax of her character story. And that's when she finally started like changing her mentality of, like, she always felt like it was just a fairy tale, like, oh, the mythosaur, oh, Mandalorian,
it's not real, this is a cult, that didn't happen.
Yeah, and I feel like she finally
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I feel like when she finally sees that, that's when she's like, oh, wait, you know, like, this is all real to me, and I do care. I do, like, it's not about necessarily having like the title or position of like ruler of Mandalore for her anymore. And I think up until that point it had been. She's like, oh, I don't have the dark saber, I'm not the ruler, this sucks. And then like afterwards she's like, wait, no, I want to be a Mandalorian. Like, I don't want to be the ruler of Mandalore, I want to lead as a Mandalorian. And I think that whole fight with Axe, I love, because Katie Sackhoff talks about how like Bo's playlist would be like Poison, like 80s hairband death metal. And I really feel like,
yeah, I love that.
I really feel like Bo, this whole time that they're like fighting all these droids, all she's thinking about is like, I want to kick Axe Wolves' fucking ass so bad. Like the whole time, I feel like that's all she's thinking about. She's just like, every droid she takes out, she's like, I want to kill this man. Like, I just want to get this.
And then she gets to kick the shit out of him.
Yes.
Take out all that aggression.
So I feel like the fight was like more for her as well, to say like, I'm gonna be your leader, and I'm actually gonna lead, and like, I'm going to teach you guys how to lead. I'm not just gonna kill you and then take your position, you know. And I think that's definitely like a huge character shift for her.
So do you think this goes back to Din in the first episode? He says the creed teaches us about redemption.
Yes.
Bo is definitely she's also part of this redemption story of reclaiming her, like, not
her home,
her identity, her identity as a Mandalorian, because it's been so skewed her whole life. The idea of what a Mandalorian is and what makes a Mandalorian has always been, you know, just status and titles, I think, and that's just what she grew up with. And now that she meets Din, and he with the creed and everything, I absolutely think season 3 was her redemption arc to becoming a true Mandalorian. I will stand by that.
I am 100% there with you. Like, I was like, it's not just his redemption story, it is also hers. And I loved seeing the evolution of Bo this season.
Yeah, she had some major growth.
She did.
And we have hit on a lot of the points over our season discussion so far, and I am positive there will be more.
Yes, I hated Bo. I hate to say that, but
did you really?
Wow. I hated her in the Clone Wars. I was like, this bitch.
Despising the character to the 2% Club.
Yes, I went from despising Bo-Katan. As soon as she showed up this season, I was like, oh my god, here we go again. And then like now I'm like, I will protect Bo-Katan with everything in my life. Like, I'm a 2%er, fight me. I love you, Katie Sackhoff.
So all in all, we really enjoyed this episode.
Yes, we did.
Are we ready for some fun facts?
Oh, always gimme.
Yeah.
So there's not really a whole lot. This of fun, like random facts, because this was very much a very cameo heavy episode.
Yes.
Because Tom Holland's brother played the young prince.
Oh, well, that's cool. Okay.
Good for him.
There's a lot of other like cameos. So I was gonna say this one for last, but since I brought that up, so there's a sound editor. Matthew Woods is the droid foreman during this, and he was also known as the voice of General Grievous in Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, what?
And Bib Fortuna in the Phantom Menace, the Mandalorian, and Book of Boba Fett. So
Dang,
like it's fun when they bring people back to do like.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah,
we talked about that several times too. It's so much fun to be like, yes, you're a fan and you do good work and come be part of this because you love it as much as we do.
Yes, and
I love it.
Misty Rosas, she played Quill. She was Frog Lady, she was Quill, but she also played one of the Ugnaughts in this episode.
Really? Oh,
yes.
I didn't know that.
The sweetest lady ever. She literally like talk to her on Instagram and she will definitely read your comment and like talk to you. She's amazing.
That's fantastic.
So I don't know, maybe So Bryce Dallas Howard, her husband was also in this episode.
Oh. Okay.
Yes, Seth Gable. He's been on French and Salem. He was the bartender droid.
Oh, okay.
Cool. That's cool.
So she brought in her hubby. So that was fun. So yeah, there were more cameos in this episode other than like the three very obvious ones.
That's really cool. I like it.
But we did see so the Techno Union. Did you guys pick up on that?
The what?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I didn't hear you.
The Techno Union. It was a guild from the Clone Wars and Bad Batch that had seats in the Separatist Council and produced the battle droids.
Oh,
and destroyed Echo, right? On Skako Minor.
Is that a Clone Wars thing? Because I haven't got to that part yet.
Oh no, I don't know what I'm talking about.
I know things happen. I'm not going to get upset.
My bad. I thought that was Bad Batch. I don't know why.
Was it? No, because Echo was already echoed.
I thought it was Clone Wars.
I think she was trying to play like, it was Bad Batch, not Clone Wars.
Oh,
I don't know
shit!
what you're talking about.
God damn it! I went from being like, stop, to let me talk about it some more.
Sorry, let me just go. I'll see myself out. Bye, guys.
Sorry, that's the episode.
But with that said, you guys make sure to follow us on all the social medias at Travel and Bantha for more shenanigans and fun and Mandalorian talks.
Yes.
Also,
wait, we didn't talk about Rex.
Okay, so yes,
was that him?
No,
or was it just
him.
one that looked like him?
One that looked like him. It was.
And I got so excited when I saw the scene, and I thought that was him.
It was not him. That's why I didn't say it.
God damn it!
Sorry.
Fine. I want more Rex. I love him. Clearly.
So do I. But yeah, so as always, Bailey, we love having you.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming back. This was a blast.
I'll never be back again after spoiling that.
Yay!
Bye, guys.
I'll just continue to help you.
Bring it on. We're good.
May the force be with you.
Always. Thank you for listening to Sisterhood of the Traveling Bantha. We are written by Denise
and edited by Krystal. Our social media is managed by Bailey Hawkins. Original logo art created by Tyler Rigney.
Intro and outro music provided by Galactic Empire. You can follow us on all social medias at Traveling Bantha. We are also streaming on all major platforms, including Spotify, Apple, and Amazon.
You can leave us a tip and purchase stickers at buymeacoffee.com. Join our Patreon for as little as $3 a month and get access to special perks and gifts. We want to give a huge shout out to our Jedi Knight and higher supporters, Rooney, Michael Beavers, and Mark Collier. Thank you so much for your support. May the force be with you.
Always.
Yes. I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
This was my very first piece of merch from Celebration. My very first piece of merch from my very first Celebration.
Let's see it.
This is fantastic.
Oh man, I wish I had shown you guys this when I had Din as my background. There we go. Now it's focused.
Yes.
So I walk in. I mean, I had just walked through the doors my very first time. I walked through the doors. I'm walking down the very first hallway, and this random person in the hallway, all I know about her, she was taller than me, and she had blonde hair, and she runs up to me, and she goes, "Hey!" and hands me this, and runs away. And I was like, I'm so glad I'm here. Yeah.
I love it. Oh my god.